Regular commission meeting scheduled for today, February 6th. I do want to make a very quick announcement for those up here, the commissioners. Our internet systems are down, so if we want to raise our hands for something, please use the name tags in the front. So at this time, I would like to go ahead and call the meeting to order. City Clerk, can you please do the roll call?
Commissioner Vila Vasquez. Present. Commissioner Burbank. No. Commissioner Colwell.
Here.
Commissioner Jody Lee.
Here.
Commissioner McCool. Here. Vice Mayor Bradford. Here. And Mayor Vila.
Here. At this time, I'd like to turn the meeting over to Commissioner Jody Lee for the invocation and the pledge to the flag.
I want to invite Pastor Kevin up for the invocation. And Pastor Kevin has someone for the national anthem. And we have the Girl Scout troop, Milton, which is a city employee, his daughter's Girl Scout troop here doing the Pledge of Allegiance. All right. Right, not yet.
Of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Go ahead, Pastor Kevin.
Father, we thank you so much for your presence here this evening. Your word tells us, Father, that we are to come boldly before your throne of grace, seeking mercy and grace, and trust that we receive it. So, Father, we come to you this evening looking for grace and mercy. We thank you so much, Father, for these men and women who give of their time and their talent. We pray, God, for those that have been elected, Father, to guide this city, to serve well, to walk in integrity, Father God. We pray your hand of protection upon them. Father, we pray for the decisions that need to be made, not just tonight, but ongoing throughout the year, that not only, Father God, would this city profit from all that you do because of their lives entrusted to you, but God, that you would move in their hearts. You would remind them that, Father, you're in charge of their life and you're sovereign. We adore you. We love you. We thank you more than anything for all that you do in our lives. Protect this city, protect this state, protect, oh God, our country, guide our elected officials. For that, we will always give you the praise and the glory that you deserve. In Jesus Christ's name, amen. Amen.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Hey, Milton, get in. Go ahead and get in. Take it.
Thank you. At this time, we're going to go ahead and go to public forum.
Okay, Mayor, there are two public forums, Douglas McDonald and then Richard Bellick, please.
All right, as the children are leaving, I just want to remind everyone in the audience, we do still have children in the audience, so please let's conduct yourselves like adults, please.
Thank you all.
Good evening, Mayor and Commission. My name is Doug McDonald at 1494 Surrey Run
Mr.
Court
McDonald,
here in Deltona.
Can't hear you.
You cannot hear me?
Go ahead.
Okay,
It's on.
it's on. I wanted to bring to the attention of the Commission tonight, and I'm sad to say it's a dispute between two commissioners that is now in the newspapers, which is bad. I was not privy, and I don't understand what this dispute was about. I was not at the meeting when this occurred, so I'm not taking sides. I don't know who's responsible. But the fact that it is in the newspapers does not speak well for our city. And I want to bring this to your attention. It makes one wonder if all of you, the commission, is here to do the city's business and to take care of business rather than to engage in this sort of thing. So again, without taking sides, without getting involved in the actual discussion of it, I'm urging consideration for all of us out here who have to deal with this. I recall standing here 10 years ago, 2014, speaking before our previous mayor, Mayor John, who endured a lot of abuse and also fighting between two of his commissioners directed to him. So it was actually worse than what we see here now. And I propose that the city have a code of conduct that they should study and undertake. Nothing came of that. So here we are, 9 years later. It's better than it was, but not too much. So I'm asking the mayor, even though this is not in your job description, to somehow mediate this, resolve this, solve this, so that we can hold our heads up high out here in the city. And if you're not able to, then I suppose you would have a city attorney over here to guide you, perhaps to hire some sort of a counseling association to look into this matter, to get all the commission to work together so we can get our business done. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Richard Bellick, please.
I like what he said. But anyway, I want to give a shout out to Barker's View. Barker's View, they gave us some news. We don't get news coverage here. We get fantasy. The News Journal, the Beacon, we get nothing from them. We get fairy tale stories. Everything has got white gloves on it, nothing ever wrong. And let me tell you something, what went on here stinks. We all know it. It stinks. They're talking about the city attorney here he's been here longer than the city, I think. How's he going to straighten the city out? Now let's get on to the next thing. I also feel that some of you commissioners are taking sides against our new mayor. That's what it looks like, and it smells, it stinks, and
Mr. Bellick, there's kids in the room. I'm not trying to violate your freedom of speech, but
I slipped, Mayor. I'm sorry. Excuse me. I did slip. Okay, now, with the city attorney, getting a new city attorney, how come the full list of people that wanted that job weren't put out? The full list should have been put out. I mean, we are an open society. We're supposed to be. We get half a loaf all the time. It's time after time. Now I want to go on to you three new commissioners there, you, and you. You all promised an audit. I swear, we're going to have an audit. What's going on? You just don't know the word no more? What's going on? You're Burbank. You know I'm right. You all said it. Oh, yeah, we'll ask for an audit. I haven't heard the word. Nobody has heard it. When? You've made a promise. You've come up here, give all these stories. Never do anything that directly involves the money that's missing from this city, and there's a lot of money missing. And as far as these arguments go, this jealousy back and forth, I mean, it only shows what the people of Deltona elected. That's all it shows. And let me tell you something. If I didn't have such respect for our mayor, you'd be hearing a lot more out of me tonight, especially.
Don't direct it at anyone. Just point at me. That's fine.
You know who the two culprits are. I mean, we all know that. We know who the jealous ones are. I mean, come on. We even had a story about a rebuke that the mayor's wife ain't the first lady of Deltona. If that ain't jealousy, I don't know what is. I mean, come on. Let's be real. Now, let's get back to it. Audit, A-U-D-I-T, when? You win. You all promised. Now you're hiding.
Thank you.
Kathy Bryan, please.
Good evening, Kathy Bryan, Deltona. Several things. One, here we are. I have to rush in here to make public forum. Is there not any reason why we can't make it after special awards and events, and even maybe after old business? I get not doing it at the very end of the night, but come on, give me a break and give other people a break who have to work and get here. I know a lot of you guys work too and have to get here, but it's your job now. So for the third, fourth time, I'm asking, can we reach a happy medium with public forum? Second, I was talking to somebody from code enforcement who happened to be parked on my street about something else, because right where our mailboxes is, there's a storm drain. And somebody, and it may have been a resident, cut down, it's like a section where you can't build for retention. And so whoever was bright enough to cut down the stuff, which was very nice, also piled it right on top of the storm drain. So I moved some of that off of there, threw some of it back in the woods, but I asked, could we get something to have it cleaned up? So if we can find out about that, I will send you an email, I will send you pictures, and with the location. So that would be nice. Third, I would like to thank each and every one of you and members of past commissions for basically calling us citizens like we don't know what we're voting for. And thank you for taking the ordinance stuff off the agenda. I think most of us do our research. I don't think there's any reason why that should have been on and didn't go like it was. And if there was a reason, it would have been nice to have heard why and have some transparency with that. I guess we were used to our previous manager being transparent with a lot of stuff, and I don't hear anything from our current manager. So that's that. Fourth, I've asked several times now where we are with working on land use code and the moratorium that's going to expire next month, and I haven't got an answer. Sometimes I have to leave early, but rest assured, I watch the rest of the meeting when I get home. So feel free in manager comments, commission comments, to let me know what's going on about that, because I really feel like maybe nothing is. And I'm pretty sure that's probably the answer. That's all I got. Thanks.
Thank you.
Mayor, this ends public comment.
This time we're going to go to approval of minutes and agenda. Approval of minutes of the regular commission meeting of January 17, 2023 as presented. Need a motion and a second, please. So moved by Vice Mayor Bradford. Second by Commissioner McCool. Could we all vote, please? In favor, vote aye. Raise your hand. It's working. It's working? It's not working on my end. I got it. Yeah. I got a report. Apologize, people. We have some technical difficulties with internet service. Motion passes 7-0. This time, we're going to go to presentations, awards, and reports. Proclamation in honor of Black History Month. I'd like to call up Mike Williams and Pastor Bradley, and several other members of the congregation will attend this meeting, is what I was told. And I'll go ahead and read the proclamation. It says, whereas Black History Month is celebrated each February in recognition of achievements by Black Americans and all people of African descent in the United States, and whereas during Black History Month, we celebrate the many achievements and contributions made by African Americans to our economic, cultural, spiritual, political development. Whereas in 1915, Dr. Carter Goodwin Woodson, noted Black scholar and son of former slaves, founded the Association of the Study of African American Life and History. And whereas the contributions to science, technology, business, arts, and cultural innovation by Black Americans and African Americans have been essential to the progress of our nation. And whereas Dr. Woodson initiated Black History Week, February 12, 1926, and for many years, the second week of February was chosen to coincide with the birthdays of Frederick Douglass and Abraham Lincoln, was celebrated by African Americans in the United States. And whereas in 1976, as part of the nation's bicentennial Black History Week, was expanded and became established as Black History Month and is now celebrated all over North America. And whereas the observance of Black History Month calls our attention to the continued need to battle racism, build a society that lives up to its democratic ideal, now therefore we, the Mayor and the City Commission of Deltona, Florida, do hereby proclaim the month of February 2023 as Black History Month in Deltona, and urge all citizens to come together, not merely to honor, but to celebrate our diverse heritage and culture, and continue our efforts to create a world that is more peaceful and prosperous for all. Thank you. You want to take a picture of all of us? So we can take a picture all together? Sure. Please. Come on. This time we're going to move to old business. Request for consideration of appointments to Affordable Housing Advisory Committee. Get the clerk. Commissioner Avila Vasquez.
Thank you, Mayor. So last time this came up at the last meeting, we requested that they bring it back to this meeting, because usually we get a spreadsheet like this one indicating how each candidate qualifies and in what category. So we did get the spreadsheet from the department, and according to what they're bringing us, of all the candidates, which is 9 of them, only 2 qualify for the opening that they have. So I would like to make a motion to nominate those 2 candidates, which are Jean Armstrong and Alexa Pantoja Rodriguez.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Avila Vasquez and a second by Commissioner Jody Lee. Do we want to have any conversation? No? Okay, let's go and vote, please.
Thank you, Mayor.
Do we need to have comment?
The motion passes 7-0. This time, we're going to go ahead and move to new business. Ratification of an emergency repair to frontline fire engine FD 1021 due to an unforeseen engine motor failure. Is the fire chief here? Or Deputy Fire Chief Bushke, please?
Deputy Chief Fire Bush Swisher, and my cookies are over there. I'm watching them, all you guys back there. Well, I'm available for questions.
Is there any questions from the commission?
Oh, shit.
Commissioner Jody Lee?
The engine is, so it needs a replacement engine is what we're voting on.
Yes, sir.
And you have all the records of the maintenance and the past maintenance and the how it's been?
Maintenance keeps all that in records. Tom Siafi and Eddie do that at the maintenance department.
What's the age of this engine that's currently in there?
It's a 2010.
And how many miles are on that engine?
I'm not sure. I know there's over 30,000 hours on it.
That's the big one.
We kind of go by hours more than we do mileage, although both are important, but hours are really the important thing.
Right, idling for fires and stuff like
Right, exactly.
But it's been properly maintained for all these years that we've had it, and it's been here. And
Yes, sir. Initially, they thought it was a top-end only problem, but as they dug deeper into it, ended up being more damage than they thought. So it was, according to Cummins, worth more to rebuild it than it was just to repair simple little items.
right, so this is the price of a whole new engine compared to.
Ooh. Yeah, a whole new engine. We just spent $768,000 on a new engine that we'll get in January.
Okay.
So a big price difference.
Commissioner Burbank and then Vice Mayor Bradford.
Good evening, Chief. Is this vehicle, is this about the average age of your fleet? Are we going to see more of these things coming up down the road? I'm thinking, are we starting to look at a replacement entirely coming up?
So we have a replacement plan that kind of got messed up due to COVID and past commission actions and things like that. But our rotation used to be 18 years and the truck would be out. It's now backed up to 20 years. So we try to do 10 years frontline, 10 years reserve. This truck will go back to, as soon as we get the new engine in, which they used to take about 12 to 14 months to come in when we ordered them. Nowadays, they take anywhere from about 28 months to 36 months for build time. So the engine that we ordered last year won't be here until January, and that's just till it gets to Florida. Then there's a whole nother month before we get it from the actual person we ordered it from, where they do all the tool placement and things like that, building shelves, floors, and all that kind of stuff.
Thank you, sir.
Vice Mayor Bradford.
I don't have any questions. I was going to make a motion if nobody else has any.
Go ahead.
I move to ratify the emergency repair frontline fire engine FD 1021 due to an unforeseen engine motor failure.
Second.
So we got a motion by Vice Mayor Bradford and a second by Commissioner McCool. Please vote. Okay, the motion passes 7-0.
Mayor, we do have one public comment on this.
Okay.
I'm
Brandy
gonna go
White.
check on my cookies.
Brandy White, please.
More for clarification than anything. I noticed here that it talked about 4 frontline engines being operated in 1 aerial tower. In '08, we show a record of having 10 trucks. So can we just get an update on where we're at, how many maybe we are planning on getting, where those other 5 are, things like that? Thank you.
Would you like me to talk on that?
Sure.
So we run 4 frontline engines, 1 aerial frontline, which runs as both an aerial and an engine at the same time, called a quint. And then the rest of the engines that she speaks about are reserve apparatus. We currently have 4 reserve apparatus. One of them is out of service because it's over 20 plus years old, and that's the one that's being replaced once we get the new engine in January.
Thank you, Deputy Chief.
Is that it?
Thank you.
Mayor, this ends public comment.
Thank you. This time we'll go to City Commission special reports and requests, if there are any requests. Vice Mayor Bradford.
Can we bring back somewhere between COVID and switching staff around? We've lost our first meeting of the month where we do a presentation to all the kids in school. So I've received a few emails, I don't know if anybody else has, of like, hey, where's this at? The schools find it very encouraging for the students. They actually look forward to it, and the kids, it actually encourages them to do better. So can we bring that back? It's usually the first meeting of the month. Thank you.
Commissioner Burbank, and then Commissioner Vasquez.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm not sure if this is where I'm supposed to be doing this or later in the commissioner's comments. I would like to request that we hold a workshop to discuss potential and proposed comprehensive plan amendments.
Can you repeat that one more time?
I would like to propose a workshop to we discuss potential and proposed comprehensive plan amendments.
Potential comprehensive plan amendments. Okay. This time we're going to go ahead and we have Commissioner Avila Vasquez.
I just wanted to comment on Vice Mayor's comment, and Mr. Chisholm, if you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the girls are already working on that. Am I right? The awards for the Students of the Month.
I know we talked about it. I haven't got a status of it, but I know we did discuss that. But we'll bring something back to you.
Thank you. Commissioner Jody Lee.
I don't know if there's a couple things I want to bring up, but I don't know if I should bring them up now or should I wait for the city commission comments?
So this is special requests.
Okay, I'll wait for a minute.
Did we get an answer on Burbanks? I think it would be great to have a workshop on the comprehensive plan. I don't know if we all have to give you consensus on that.
And that's coming up for renewal anyways, so.
Yeah, but I think it'd be great if we could knock that out.
Okay, we'll bring it back.
Anyone else? No? I do have 2 requests. Can we get somewhere in there a workshop on our land development use code? I know I've asked for it. I know the Vice Mayor mentioned it, I believe, last meeting. I understand it's going to take forever, but it hasn't been touched in a while, and I think we really need to get that updated. Is that something we need a consensus on?
I think that's some of what Tom was suggesting, is get into the land development code and the very same thing.
Okay. The other thing I wanted to ask is, obviously I can't make motions, I can't do seconds because I'm the one with the gavel unless I hand it over. But we do have, I've received I'm sure everybody up here did as well, concerns about what happened with the city charter, right? Can we get some type of transparency out there to our residents? And if needed, can we even talk about some type of an operational audit? Because if there's doubts on any side, whether it's our city staff or anyone else, I think it's something that needs to be done. we give everyone peace of mind, especially those of us up here on this dais, and we can move forward. We can stop all this negativity and show that there's nothing to hide.
There's absolutely nothing to hide. I believe the charter amendments were voted on by the City Commission prior to putting it on the ballot, and those amendments were passed, and they have now been submitted to the Secretary of State. But we're happy to share a copy of whatever was presented, and it's available to anybody.
Thank you. Let's go ahead now to City Attorney comments.
Nothing tonight, Mayor.
City Manager comments.
Just briefly, I did meet with the Women's Club concerning their building and had a brief discussion. Well, I had about an hour discussion with them on some options and things that we could probably help with. And they took it under advisement. I have not heard back from them, so I'm sure they'll get back with. They wanted to have a meeting with the rest of their membership before they got back to us, so I have not heard back from them as of today. The second thing, I had a meeting with ex-Commissioner King on his program for one of our parks, and got a full briefing on what he had wanted to do, and I will need to bring that back to you with some ideas of which includes what he's proposing, and so you can tell me what direction you would like to see us go in. And that's basically the two elements that I've worked on. The third, there's several things that are still being processed, just so everybody knows. The 4B project as currently we've been evaluating the project, and we'll continue to do that till I get some answers from our consulting engineers on going forward with it. There are other projects that are also being evaluated. There's a plan that took wastewater from Deltona and took it to the county system, and we're evaluating that plan to determine the feasibility of the plan that was provided. So these are plans we're working on. We do not have answers for you at this time, but I want you to know we are working in those areas. And that's all I have to report on tonight.
Thank you. I'd like to welcome one of our dignitaries that's here. County Councilman David Santiago is in the room, so thank you for coming and checking out part of your area. All right. Now we're going to move to City Commission comments, and I saw that Commissioner Burbank was, no? All right, Commissioner Jody Lee.
Okay, that was my time. Throw a monkey and a little wrench in there, whatever you want to call it. We keep on talking about the biggest city, the biggest city. It's about time we start doing things like the biggest city. I mean, it's time for us to grow up and start doing things the right way and watching our money and all these different things. And there's a couple things. I've got probably three big major things, so I'm going to start with the first one. You know, we keep on talking about doing a lot of things, but here's the one that I'd like to do right now. I want to make a motion, effective immediately, to appoint Mr. Jim Chisholm as Deltona City Manager for a 2-year term at $200,000 a year. No severance is subject to additional benefits as negotiated by the City Attorney and memorialized in a contract to be placed on the City Commission agenda as quickly as practical.
We have a motion by Commissioner Jody Lee.
Second.
A second by Commissioner Avila Vasquez.
Are we allowed to do that now? Okay.
Go ahead, Vice Mayor.
No, I was just asking if we were allowed to vote on that now, since it's not on the agenda.
Yeah, it's not on the agenda. Are we allowed to vote on that?
There's a history of it, and I've looked into it. I've done the background. They got rid of Jane Shang this way. They got rid of Mark Cooper this way. All the different things in the past, this is how it's been done, so the precedence has already been set.
I just want to get clarity. Are we okay with voting? Guys, yes.
The answer to your question, Mayor, is yes, I believe that is appropriate. A little advance notice would have helped, but yes, I believe you may do that.
All right. So before we vote on it, let's give the public the opportunity to say something.
Certainly.
Does anybody want to?
Guys. Hey, Brandy White, please.
Okay, first of all, obviously you know that we already agreed there's supposed to be a search conducted. We've already paid, we've already started. That's just an absurd thing to even bring forward, especially at a commissioner's comment. When there's no agenda noticed, there's no public comment, that's just pretty backroom do foul, if you ask me. I have some more choice words, but I see there's still at least one child here. So I'll refrain from that, but let's be realistic on what you're asking to do right now, and just because it's been done in the past, it shouldn't have been done then either. I'd like to know if there's any precedence on this, legal speaking, as it is, has it been challenged before? That's what you should be asking. Is there any type of current case law on doing something, first of all, that you've already all agreed should go to vote, right? We said that it would go, get a county search going, state search, get the headhunters out here, bring us a list. We put money into this already. So, I'm got some more questions, but I'm just going to let this play out. Thank you.
Douglas McDonald, please.
Thank you, Mayor, Commission. Very few times in this life I've ever agreed with this Lady Brandy White, but I think she's right here. You do have the authority to make this vote according to a city attorney. This is fine, but give the citizens out here, us, some effort, some time, some delay to look this over. I think this man deserves it. I don't know anything about a search. I don't know how much it's cost the city, but you need to consider that too. So kudos to this gentleman who raised the issue and have a vote on it. But we ask that you delay the vote and get consideration from the residents. Thank you.
Thank you.
Richard Bellick, please.
Mr. Chisholm, how many times did you tell us you didn't want the job?
Mr. Bellick, just over here, please. Remember,
When your term is up, he told us numerous times he don't want the job, he's retiring, okay? We heard this since he's got here. So, what conclusion can we draw out of this horse and pony show that's just been presented to us? This is like a cattle rustling, for God's sake. The guy said it how many times? He don't want the job. He don't want the job. He's done. He's finished. Go out, search for an attorney. Now we hear this? Nobody knows about it? Come on. You know this this can't be legal. I mean, this is still, you know, we're still in the same country. That balloon didn't change nothing. I mean, come on. This has to stop. He comes out of a clear blue sky. I wanted 200,000. This guy's been here 3 months. What does he really know about city government or laws?
No direct, no personal attacks, Mr.
I mean, no, come on. This is crazy. We have to entertain this?
He's an elected official.
It's so unfair. I mean, here's a guy.
No personal attacks, Mr. Bellick.
He don't want the job. His wife don't want him to have a job. Nobody wants him to have a job. How's he going to do a good job? How's he going to do a good job? Come on. I mean, this has to stop. We're going right back again. We're going backwards now. We're going back. We're going back to the John Masarchik era. For this even to be presented tonight, it shouldn't have been, and it's foolish and irresponsible to do this to the people.
Kathy Bryan, please.
Well, I was going to bring up the point that Mr. Chisholm doesn't want to stay, okay? You guys made all this issue of how we were going to get our new manager, and Mr. Jody Lee himself said, we're the biggest city, we hear all this, we need to move forward. That's why I think it's time to not stick with somebody who's not going to want to stay. Let's get a new manager in here who's going to work with us for a long time coming and look at this city from new points of view. If you guys want to, if Mr. Chisholm wants to apply for the job, so be it. But remember, you're trying to find somebody who's going to stick with us for a long time and do right by the city. But I agree, this sounds like, I don't know if Mr. Chisholm was in on this conversation or if it came to a total surprise for him in that quick second, woo bum. Come on, think about it.
Thank you.
Albert Bryan, please.
Wow. I've seen some up here before, but this one takes the cake. It really does. Oh, no, that's right. Last week did. Last week really took the cake. This is just the icing on that cake. Let's think about this for just a second here. You took a vote. You said you're going to do a search. So what you're saying is your word isn't worth squat if you vote for this tonight. That's what you're saying. Because you promised all of these people and everybody watching on TV that you were going to do the right thing when we put you in those seats. If you actually think this is the right thing, really? Really? The man, like somebody else said, told you that he didn't want to be here in the first place. Why would you want somebody who didn't want to be here in the first place? That's real interesting. That means it's all about one thing, and one thing only, and that's a real shame. I'm glad to see that none of y'all up there are worth your word. I'm glad to see that. Because obviously, none of these voters mean a thing to you. Not anything at all. Color of the carpet is actually appropriate. It's brown. Remember that.
Mayor, this ends public comment.
I'd like to.
Mr. Sosa, please.
Yes. Dave Sosa. I've seen some really shady stuff from the city of Deltona over the last couple of years, but this really takes the cake. I'm really surprised, Jody. I really expected more from you. I really did.
Guys, come on.
This is not something that should be decided tonight. You have not notified the public. You can't go on a whim to do this. It may be legal, but just because it's legal doesn't make it right. The residents of Deltona have the right to know this is going to happen. They have the right to know that they need to show up on the night that this is going to be voted on, and they have a voice if they want to come up and address the commission. This screams a shady backroom deal all night long. Even Stevie Wonder could see that. Okay? So if you guys vote on this tonight, the word corruption comes into my mind. And it runs real deep. Now, Mr. Chisholm, I watched the last meeting. Commissioner Burbank asked him a couple times during. It's not an attack. I'm stating a fact. Commissioner Burbank asked Mr. Chisholm, hey, why don't you stay for a little longer? Mr. Chisholm said, no, I'm short term. I want to be out of here in 6 months. He does not want to stay. Why would you offer him a 2-year contract? Most contracts are only 1 year anyway. What if he screws up in that year? Why would you even do a 2-year contract, especially $200,000 a pop? The last one was only getting $160,000. He's not worth $40,000 more. So this even being considered is a joke. I mean, I read Barker's View today, and dumpster fire doesn't describe what's happening right now. I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you.
Before I go to the commissioners, let me ask the obvious question. Mr. Chisholm, would you like to stay for 2 years so we can even consider whether we're going to take this vote or not?
Yeah, I have given it a lot of thought. I'll be honest with you. I'm well aware of the audience we have and what it takes to operate this city. And I've been involved in it for over 3 months now, and I know there are some major things that need to be addressed within the organization itself. And I thought maybe I should consider this once I was approached.
Yeah, come on.
Guys, please.
I would consider the offer if that is the pleasure of the commission.
Okay, Commissioner Jody Lee, then Commissioner Burbank, and then Vice Mayor Bradford, and then we'll go to a vote.
I made the motion. Okay. Well, you just called me off finished. The reason behind my understandable everybody's complaints and comments, my reasoning is there's a man here that's got a lot of experience. We got so many different projects that haven't been done. Nothing's been done. We have water project. None of this has been done for years. We keep putting things on the back burner. If he finds an assistant, we're not paying for a search. We're not paying all this money. If he finds an assistant that can possibly take the job over when he's done, we're not going to get stuck with somebody that none of us know. They can come for an interview and tell us all kinds of stuff that we're all going to like. If he hires an assistant that can take his spot and retires, we're going to get to know this person first to see if that we want this. We're going to take somebody that's going to come here for an interview and tell us whatever they want us to know until they got the job. Does that mean we're going to like them after they get the job? And then where are we? We're right back to where we started.
He's doing the same.
We've all been noticed.
Guys, come on.
We've all talked to Mr. Chisholm and had confidence in him with his experience and what he wants to do. We have a lot of projects and water projects and all this stormwater stuff that needs to be done. We keep doing this. None of this is getting done nowhere in this city. It's time we start. I mean, that's just, I made the motion. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that needs to get done. He has experience. If he's willing to stay, so what if he says yes and he hires an assistant and a year from now he decides, look, I've had enough, I'm leaving. We have an assistant. We get to know this assistant and see if this is someone we want instead of just jumping into a stranger all of a sudden. Just saying.
Vice Mayor Bradford, then Commissioner McCool.
Took me by surprise, Jody. I have to say, Mr. Chisholm, you have done respectfully more in the 6 years that I've been here with your knowledge, and shown me the respect that you know government, you know pretty much anything to do with it. Like if I have a question on something, I know you pretty much have been there, done that, or you're going to find the answer and not just give me your opinion on it. And I have a lot of respect for that. You know, I'll give a classic example. We put $10 million aside for a project that I have recently found out was a thought in somebody's brain and never put it down on paper. And I doubt any of this commission up here would have done that had we known it was just a twinkle in somebody's eye. And when you approached with it, you automatically knew how to proceed and the best way to proceed to make it work for Deltona and the residents. And you have shown 100% that you're for the residents. What I don't like is being rushed to make a decision on a city manager. And I feel that let's get a search, let's quick, we've got 6 months, we need to do this, we need to rush. I don't want to do that either. And I'm kind of 50-50 on it because I think a year, and then with a year renewal, I think that gives us time to go over and do a proper search, to vet the people properly, not rush and not find skeletons, you know, like you're saying 6 months later, and then gives us time for you to work with the individual, maybe that first year do the search and maybe another year to work with them to get them acquainted with the city and the policies and the procedures and everything. So I'm not 100% opposed to this at all, you know, but I do think we should do it at a year increment versus a 2-year increment. And then I would like to see us still continue to work on that search during this time period and not be rushed on the search. That's my opinion.
Commissioner McCool?
Thank you. This is just like the bum's rush that happened when we put Mr. Peters in, and Mr. Peters said he didn't want to be here, and then he was here, and then we excoriated and exited him for the very same thing going on here. So the most glaring of these issues that I have with this tonight is public input. We made it a huge tenet of doing a search for a city manager. Now I'm going to tell you this right here. I adore Mr. Chisholm. I respect him. He is doing a hell of a job. I first wanted to say that he's doing a fine job. However, we promised our residents that we were going to go out and get the brightest and the best. We promised them a search. If Mr. Chisholm wants to stay, put your hat in the arena. He is very accomplished while he's here, and I support him as our city manager right here. However, that does not negate us owing our public the due process to which we promised them. We can't do that. We have a schedule, a realistic, I'm going to assume at the time a realistic schedule was presented of the timeline search. I don't think it's unreasonable. I think that if we wanted Mr. Chisholm to stay on, if he was not even selected to help transition this person, that it's a great thing. But it's short-sighted to take the public out of this. We promised them, we promised the public that they would get input. We can't do that. We can't vote on that tonight, not giving the public the input at this short. This is so short notice. I think that we have a rich history of doing things short notice and then then we're like this after the fact. So I have it on record that there is not a thing that Mr. Chisholm is doing that I don't agree with. There's not, his leadership is not in question, none of that, but we have a public to answer to, and we cannot forget that. Lest we go back into the commission hand selecting, well, who do we hand select? Jane Chang, right? How did that turn out for us? Then we had Ms. Mark Cooper. How did that turn out for us? Mr. Peters, how did that turn out? All of those did not have proper public input, and I just don't want us to make that mistake again. Again, hear my words. Mr. Chisholm is doing a fantastic job. I do not want to circumnavigate due process and have it said that the commission did not listen to the public. That's too quick of a time. I just don't agree with doing that tonight. Absolutely no bueno.
Commissioner Avila Vasquez, then myself, and then Jody Lee.
Thank you, Mayor. So the reason why I second this motion was there are a lot of projects in my district that have gone from one city manager to another. And these projects either are delayed or just standing there doing nothing. Why? Because there's a big project right now that the city is being beat up on, which is Lakeshore Drive. That project went from one city manager who's no longer here. We have another city manager who came in blind, not knowing what this project was about, and worked on this project until he finally understands which direction this project should go, and we're finally going to start working on it and making a decision on it. And then there's other things at least I'm talking about District 3, that I have empty gas stations that are sitting there that other commissioners, although it was brought up to them, I'm sorry, not commissioners, city managers or interim city managers, it was brought up to these commissioners. Mr. Patel has called me and begged me for the city to help him open up his gas station on Deltona Boulevard. And he can't do it because all he does is get fines and fines and fines and never get his permits approved. Mr. Chisholm just visited that gas station. He's also visited a couple of other businesses that have been having problems, and it's been ignored. So now we're going to get a new commissioner, a new city manager, and here my project is going to go back again to the drawing board. Yes, this was a surprise, and I don't have a problem with the 1-year suggestion, but my God, we need to get these projects completed. We need to get these projects out of our to-do list. And as we keep changing commissioners, city managers, they're never going to get done, because every time we get a new city manager, they have to start from scratch all over again. Today I had, you don't live in my district, that's why you don't care about it.
Let's not direct our,
Come on.
Let's not direct the public, please.
I have residents here in public who live in that area that want this project completed, so I really want to keep, if the other commissioners agree, to keep Mr. Chisholm for another year, if he accepts. Again, I know that he's not said that before, but if he accepts, and at least get some projects completed within that year so that we can start fresh.
Okay, I'm going to say something, then Commissioner Jody Lee, then Commissioner Burbank, then Vice Mayor Bradford. I don't shy away from telling people that and I've told many of you that I think Mr. Chisholm is doing an excellent job, right? But it's not really what I want. And the big issue that I have right now is that we're about to commit the same mistakes that prior commissions have committed, and that's rushing into things. If this is something that this commission wants to do, it's my opinion, I'm only one person, right? I get told this all the time. We should be presenting this at a different meeting. It should be on an agenda so the public can come prepared for it. I'd love to keep Mr. Chisholm for as long as we can. I agree with Dana and everyone up here in that aspect. He's doing an amazing job. Mr. Chisholm, how many times have I told you I'd like to keep you for a long time? I've said it many times, but I also have to recognize the one important factor. We need to do this the right way with our residents. We need to stop doing things so hastily, because of doing things hastily is the reason why we're in the mess we're in. Projects are not getting done, not because of anything, but because we keep putting people in positions without going through the process. Let's go through the process. I would love for him to apply for that position, but we have already said that we were going to search for a city manager. I agree that we shouldn't be doing that quickly as well. I think we need to take our time. I like to know if the next city manager has sued their prior employees. I'd like to know what experience that they have. There's a lot of things that I want to know, but the public needs to be involved in everything we do, because this is a decision that's affecting their taxes, their bottom line. So I know it's probably not the most popular thing up here in this dais right now to say, but I really think, and I'm imploring everyone up here, let's think about this. Let's not rush into it. Nobody's rushing us. I don't see the residents telling us, hey, we need to get this done right now. We need a city manager, but they're not rushing us to get it done. So I respect everyone up here. I really honestly do. But I just feel that we are dismissing what we voted on not too long ago. Furthermore, we're dismissing the residents and their opinions. Those are the people that put us in this power. And lastly, there's a process. It doesn't mean we're going to find a city manager in a month. It could take up to 6, 7, 8 months. I don't know how long it's going to take. He's not leaving. I want him, and I've said many times, he should be training the person that's going to take over. But I think rushing into this right now, and it's not me putting my finger and seeing which way the wind blows, I'm going to agree with Dana on this. I think this is not a good way to go. So Commissioner Jody Lee and then Commissioner Burbank.
Oh, I guess I can backtrack, seeing everybody says stuff. Instead of 2 years, I'd like to make it a 1-year contract. You know, we're talking about it's going to take so much time to hire another manager, and we got this thing. We came up with a timeline for March and April. That's what the interviews and all this. That's 2 months. If that's not rushing into something, I don't know what is. We're talking about somebody to run $200 million a year. So let's just make him our manager for a year and go from there. So I'll change it to a year.
Commissioner Burbank.
make some animal analogies here. My daddy once told me, you got a willing mule, you ride it. And another one is, hasty will get you a pig in a poke. Mr. Chisholm is anything but a pig in a poke. He knows what he's doing. The difference between Mr. Chisholm and Mr. Peters is Mr. Peters was always out of his element here. I like the idea of keeping him on because he's a steadying hand when we've got a bunch of rookies sitting up here. And I also like the compromise that Commissioner Bryant offered, but I'd like to amend that even further if I could, to trim that time down a little further, make that 1 year retroactive to when he signed his last contract. That would give him about 8-9 months. That's about enough time to get everybody involved in a new search, give us time to get somebody out there, and get him in time to get somebody in here he can train to run it when he's not here. That would be my suggestion.
So we currently have literally 2 motions on the floor, because you retracted one. You made a motion to make it a year, and then we have another one for a year from the date of his contract.
No suggestion. My motion still stands.
Give me just a minute, Commissioner. Mayor Bradford?
I believe since Jody Lee had the first motion, that the Commissioner Avila Vasquez would need to say whether or not she accepts his amendment to the motion, and then if she accepts it, another motion can be made.
Perfect.
I accept.
Okay, so we have a motion by Commissioner Jody Lee to extend the contract for 1 year from today.
From today.
A second by Commissioner Avila Vasquez. Do we want to go ahead and can we go for a vote, please? There's a question by Commissioner Avila Vasquez, and then we'll go to a vote.
Thank you, Mayor. Have we paid the headhunters yet? Has any payment been gone out to the agencies to look for a new commissioner?
No, we said not to.
No, we're doing it internal. We have advertised, just so you know, the advertising is out there, and we still are on schedule as we planned before.
So nothing has been, no money has been,
Nothing's
okay,
changed.
thank you.
Liz, please. The motion passes 5-2. Commissioner Jody Lee, you had some other things on your agenda?
Well, there's some other stuff, but I guess I can wait from other stuff. I don't want to cause too much of a ruckus for one night. I want to talk about one thing that I did have. Somebody send me private emails with strange names or whatever they are, and they're talking about making a motion for a strong mayor city. I don't know who was sending it. I don't know if they're watching it, but I think it's, I just want somebody, I want you all to know the transparency, but I think it's, I don't know who it is, but somebody's sending me these messages, but there was certain ways to do a strong mayor city, and if anybody knows anything about the last charter amendments, the one thing was initiative, there was a 25% of the qualified electorate, the power for petition. That has been removed from our city charter, from the last charter review that was sent up to Tallahassee, so that's been talked about. I just don't know who it is, and if they're listening, I just want to let everybody else to know that this is what's been floating around, so I don't know if anybody else is getting the same emails or text messages, but this is what someone's been telling me. Other than that, I'm done.
Let's finish conducting city business, folks. I'm going to finish going down the lane. Commissioner Stephen Caldwell? Nothing. Commissioner Avila Vasquez? Commissioner Burbank?
Yes, citizens of Deltona, you got lucky tonight, whether you know it or not. That's it. Thank you.
Commissioner Dana McCool?
Thank you, everyone, for coming out tonight. I'd like to thank residents for their input. It's so valued up here on the dais, so thank you for always being here and giving us input. It's fantastic. I want to speak to something else also that I had got messages, and I'm going to do it one time and one time only, and that is speak about my health because I've been asked about it, and my health is as such. I've been diagnosed with stage 4 bone cancer, and it is treatable, and I am a fighter if you know anything about that, so you don't need to replace me just yet. I will step down at any time during my treatment that I feel I'm not serving my public, but for right now, I feel good, and will continue to fight for my residents and what I believe is right for them. And so if I don't feel good, I'll let you know, and if I feel good, I'll let you know. So, go Team McCool. The next thing I want to talk about is that in the media or whatever, I always try to do what is right for my residents. And with that being said, I want to address something that was brought up tonight, and it's been brought up, and I would really like it to go to bed. The fact that I have problems with another seated commissioner. Those problems have been worked through and addressed. We're professional people, and I want to continue to represent Deltona well. And so whatever those issues are, for the sake of my public and my constituency, have been addressed and put to bed. I would like to assure you of that. So whatever's out there in the world, I've tried to address it professionally, and that's like the very last thing that I'm going to say about that. So that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Mayor Bradford.
Dana Strong, we're here for you. So we may not all agree, and I think we have come together to all agree to disagree. But we need our Dana Strong pins, because we're all going to be here right beside you, and we'll be there. So, Jody Lee, you mentioned, our Commissioner Jody Lee, you mentioned something about the strong mayor. I haven't received anything, but I surely would like to know who, what, where, when, and how did that even get brought up, because I don't think anybody, this is the first I'm hearing about it in 6 years. So as far as I know, we have never had a discussion. It's never been brought forward to have a city manager or staff look into it. So I personally want to know where this came from, who initiated it, and from what I'm saying, so if anybody out there, these rumors, this is the first I'm hearing about it, as far as, any staff direction, any consensus on this commission. I did hear a rumor. I heard that somebody did approach a county or something, but I believe this has to be directed from the commission, and I don't think, like I said, this is the first time hearing. So, Mr. City Manager, if you could please get some information on this. Want to know who, what, where, when, why, and how?
I'm not aware of any. No one has suggested to me that that was something that was being done or has been done. And I don't read social media, so I don't know what's on the social media. But I haven't done any research on it. I can tell you that we have tried to be sure to answer questions about the charter, and we have done that, and we have it filed appropriately with the state.
I'm going to choose, in the spirit of keeping peace on this dais, to bite my tongue, because it just seems like every commission meeting that we're coming to, somehow indirect little jabs are thrown at me, and I'm kind of getting fed up with it. If somebody has a question, feel free to ask me directly in the sunshine on the dais. So I will answer to you, Commissioner Jody Lee, in case you wanted to ask. I doubt it, because usually you're very direct. No, I have not started a petition to start, I told you, If I intend to do it in the future, I'll be the first one up here to tell everyone, but that's not my intent. So we'll leave that to rest. I hope everyone has a great night. This meeting is adjourned.